Nah. Damn, my bad right there. Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me is my co-host, the man with the buys, the man with the tries, the one and only John Barba.
What's going on, everyone? Good morning. Good morning.
JB, the show is back. How you feeling this morning?
I feel good. Brought the show back. We'll see how it goes, man. We're just gonna chalk it up and have some fun this year. We'll see how it goes.
Alright, baby. The most important thing, JB, is the addition that we brought to the show this year, and that is turn up with Speaking Out Loud. You can call us at 575-808-9307. Join the conversation with us. Let us know what your hot take is or what you want to talk about. Or maybe you have a fantasy question, slightly confused on who you want to start or who you want to sit. Just call us in and hopefully we can help you adjust your fantasy lineup or get your bets done. Today on the show, we will have Earl Robinson for OSU alumni at 6:45. I believe he's going to be joining us, Borba, and then we're going to have Tim Foley to catch us up on everything college football. That's another thing that we added to the show is we're going to talk a little bit of college football. What happened with Archie Manning? I don't know. Are they cooked? Maybe. We're going to find out with Tim Foley. Also, he's going to hit us with his power rankings, and then he's going to leave us with a couple of bets for his for the weekend in the college sports. But JB, the most important thing is what we've had kind of going on this offseason. The NFL kicks off tomorrow, our favorite sport. We believe the sport that completely takes over the sports world in football and the NFL. You got the Cowboys kicking off against the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles are dropping the banner. Nick Sirianni went on NFL Network yesterday and said he didn't even know they were dropping the banner. The players aren't even going to be out there. It means nothing because they're focused on this next year and making a run to get to that Super Bowl. JB, with Micah Parsons leaving and going to the Packers, which we'll touch on here in just a bit after this quick take by you. But do you feel like the Philadelphia Eagles are set up to make that run to get to the Super Bowl again?
I mean, absolutely. As much as it hates for as much as I hate to say it, the Eagles, a team that we both just despise, they still got everything you could possibly have to make another Super Bowl run. You got the running back position solidified. You got probably the best duo in the league right now, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. And of course, we've seen it over and over. Jalen Hurts knows how to get it done in the big games. I mean, he's done that. That's on his resume. They got a solid defense, so I would say yes.
Yeah, I agree with you too. They're probably I hate to say this. I honest this hurts, this aches. I hate to say this, but I mean, we got to agree with everybody else on TV is that Philadelphia are the favorites coming out of the NFC. Jalen Hurts, as much as a lot of us criticize him, the guy just knows how to win, and that's one thing that's missing from a lot of people is when time gets tough, they just figure out a way to get it done, and that's a gene that Jalen Hurts has. It's unfortunate because I'm typically on the other side of those moments, and I have to accept that. Last year, I kept telling Earl, I said, "Hey, we every playoff week, right? I go, Philly might lose. They got Jalen Hurts. He's going to give us a chance or two to to get an interception or a fumble. Something might happen." And the guy just kept showing up moment after moment, and I just kept swallowing my words until he was raising that trophy. But the one thing about the Dallas Cowboys is there's a lot of changes that happened over there, right? Most importantly, Micah Parsons going to your division, the NFC North. The Cowboys lost. They lost a true one. They lost a true one. It hurts. Um, a lot of us. All right, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I guess I'm the only a lot of us.
4 years back,
But
and just can't finish it, dude. It hurts. It hurts.
yo, Micah, going to the Packers, being traded to the Packers first. What do you feel of him going into your division? And secondly, do you feel like Dallas completely lost that trade?
Obviously you see the trade. it's overreaction immediately. Oh my gosh, Cowboys got fleeced. Something like that. But I think if you take a step back and you look at it, obviously the Packers, this is a move where you paid Micah. You got Jordan Love under contract. You're paying those guys. Their their mindset is all in for the next year or two. They're all in. So if they do not accomplish a Super Bowl, there's going to be questions around it. Now, with a glass half full, if I'm a Cowboys fan with a glass half full, um, I'm optimistic. You get 2 first-round picks. You get Kenny Clark, whatever. Jerry Jones said we got to stop the run. Um, those 2 first-round picks, you never know what's going to happen. You got to hit on that, but long term, we'll see. We'll see. I think 6 months from now, we can say who won and who lost the trade. But we'll see what happens. I think the Cowboys, they set it up for, they're going to be, in the long run, they might be able to win this trade. You never know. So
AJ, JB, look,
yeah,
I might sound a little delusional, and I might sound like I'm trying to be optimistic about the situation. And like Nate said in the comments, that Micah doesn't show up in big games. Statistically, that's true. That is true statistically, right?
yeah,
He also added Dak in there, but we're gonna go ahead and just pretend like I didn't read that. But this might be a win-win situation. Dallas has Matt Eberflus, who was a former Dallas Cowboys linebackers coach. He develops one of the greats, Sean Lee. You remember that great white? Also went over to Indianapolis, where he had a top 10 defense for the past 3 years while he was there. I believe that was in 18 through 21, somewhere around there. If you remember a man named Shaq Leonard, uh, one of the best defensive players before he got hurt, right? That defense carried that team as well. A bend and don't break type defense with rotational players. And if you look at that Dallas defense, I believe we're still a playoff contending team. Now, there's a difference between playoff contending and Super Bowl contending. I believe that we're one of those teams. Whenever one thing that bugs me is anytime we talk about the Cowboys, the first thing, like last night when we were talking, me, you, and Cheats, right? The first thing is everyone's like, they suck. They got worse. Did they? The defense was already ranked in the back 20, right? I think they were ranked 25, and that was with the Micah Parsons. Sure, you can make the argument that you can throw away last year because Dak being hurt, Micah missing some games, Demarcus Lawrence missing some games. But that's the way the ball moves, right? So I just think you can't just completely throw it away. We have seen Micah not show up in big games. Is he going to be impactful in Green Bay? Yeah, definitely, for sure, probably right away. But Green Bay Packers are still going to have a run stopping issue. It's not like that's just going to go away with Micah Parsons. I mean, we've seen him in Dallas, and that I looked that up this morning too, JB, and I believe the Cowboys ranked 26th in run defense, and that was a defense that was led by Micah Parsons. If you look at teams like maybe Cleveland or Pittsburgh or even the 49ers, they don't have that issue, and they have the top played defensive player on their team. So I think you do have to bring up that question mark. When I say that, Earl probably irks just a little bit as he's listening. He's like, yeah, whatever. He just sees the Super Bowl in his head as a Green Bay Packers fan, and which I don't blame you. I would too. I'm just trying to figure out a way to talk myself into believing that the Cowboys did not completely throw this season away and still look to compete, and I think they will. You agree with me there?
on the Cowboys still competing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you guys compete now. Do you guys? I mean, you guys are going to be fighting for a playoff spot. I'll say that. There's some holes on the defense. Um, I don't think you guys had a great defense to begin out with, so you kind of hit that already. It's just you got a big name. You got a big name, and
We got that boy Kenny Clark,
yeah,
who's supposed to help stuff the run. And to me that was a fix now move, right? The Kenny Clark coming in, that's
you got to
that's
stay
a
healthy.
fixed now
He
issue.
was hurt.
Yep.
He was
I
hurt a
think
little
the
bit.
entire defense for the Cowboys is all about health. Can Trayvon Diggs stay healthy? Can Deron Bland, who they just extended, stay healthy? Can Sam Williams stay healthy? Can Osa stay healthy? Can Overshown stay healthy? Because the most impactful player for the Cowboys this year, I believe, will be Overshown. You know, Agent Zero. The guy when he's on the field, he's a dog. He's a run stopper. He's a quarterback catcher. He's a catch snatcher. The guy is unbelievable when he plays. This is a guy coming out of Texas who looked unbelievable, who's been kind of kind of been set back or has been set back with injuries, but when he's on the field, the guy's dynamic. I expect him to be the difference maker for the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm telling you, this is a rotational defense. This is going to be Sam Williams. This is going to be Osa. This is going to be Dante Fowler. This is going to be Kenny Clark. And then hopefully we see, the one thing that I hate when we draft Michigan guys because Taco Charlton really ruined it for me. And now Mozzie hasn't really panned out to be what he's supposed to be. But Mozzie's got to make a difference this year. He has to make a difference. He at least has to be somewhat impactful. Like, got to show up for the game, bud. You got to show up for the game. You're making Michigan look bad. Come on, help us out just a little bit. But JB, here in just a few, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we bring on Earl to see what his reaction is with Micah Parsons going over to the Green Bay Packers. But real quick, before we get into that, yesterday top the top 10 of the top 100 rankings dropped for the NFL Network. If Jay can just bring that graphic up for us, JB, Saquon Barkley leads that top 10 or the top 100 players announced by NFL Network. Do you agree that Saquon Barkley should be ranked numero uno?
Yeah. I mean, based off the season that he had last year, he carried that team offensively. Uh, most dynamic, probably the most dynamic offensive player last year. I mean, it's a solid list. I can't go wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like now, is Saquon going to be number one this year? Like that's if Saquon's number one again this year, then we're looking doomed in the NFC. So, but I think
So
that
that
the list is pretty
is
accurate.
Yeah, I like it. The one thing that I looked at right away was the number 2 spot in Lamar Jackson. To me, it tells me that they think that if you put Lamar on any of those teams are going to get significantly better. So even if you look at Patrick Mahomes, are the Chiefs better with Lamar Jackson on that roster? Would you say?
Man, you have to change your game plan a little bit. I mean, Lamar in Baltimore, it's been a solid game plan. They've developed him. They've turned him into a better passer. They've developed a scheme around him. Andy Reid, I mean, Andy Reid with his hands on Lamar Jackson, I think the sky is the kind of the limit in that sort of sense as well. I don't know if the Chiefs still have the same success with Lamar, though. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
there's only one Patrick Mahomes.
You ain't lying about that one, brother.
Yeah.
And there's only one Earl Robinson. So let's go ahead and bring on Earl Robinson, Jay, if you don't mind bringing him onto the screen. Uh, I'll bring him on. Here we go. E-Rob.
Yeah.
Yep, but we just don't see you. But that's okay.
There we
We'll just
go.
have your audio for now while we get that fixed. But E-Rob, Micah Parsons, let's just get straight into it. Micah Parsons, does that make the Packers Super Bowl contenders? Is that what you're thinking in your head?
I mean, it better. It's an all in move for sure. I think definitely agree with Borba on that point. I think it's probably more of a 4 year window. I don't know that I would narrow it down to two, just given that we still do have one of the youngest rosters in the league. Parsons is turning 26, so he's just entering his prime. So it's definitely a win now, win in the short term type of move, but. It'll take, in my opinion, 2 to 3 years to see who wins that trade. We've got to see, how far the Packers make it in the playoffs. We've got to see who Dallas drafts. If they end up being the next Taco Charlton or the next CD Lamb, like that's going to ultimately determine who wins the trade. And maybe it's a win-win for both. Like, in my opinion, I think all of us, even Renee, would agree that Dallas probably wasn't winning the Super Bowl this year with or without Parsons. So loading up on draft picks might not be the worst decision that Jerry Jones has ever made. With that said, I mean, trading your best player entering his prime, also just from 1,000 feet, probably isn't the best decision ever, but time will
Head
tell.
scratcher.
Time will tell, and it'll tell right away. Hey, real quick, do you think Dallas sneaks into the playoffs still, even with Micah Parsons leaving?
No, I do not.
All right, that was about as
I,
clear as it
I
can get.
mean, there's like they're not going to win that division, and I don't think they're going to come ahead of Washington or Philly. One of those is going to get a wild card. One's going to win the division. Then you have the NFC North that will likely get three teams in. I mean, maybe Dallas can push for that seventh spot, but I wouldn't bet on it, which might be a good segue.
Yeah, do you,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That is true. And while you're there, let's just get straight to it. Let's pull up. Let me pull up your graphic here, Erob, and let's go ahead and talk about your bets for the weekend. Let's start with your teaser. If you don't mind explaining to a couple of my dumb friends and myself what a teaser is.
For sure, for sure. All right, so a teaser is essentially you take the Vegas line and you can buy points against the line. So right now, the line for Philly is -8.5. So they're picked to beat Dallas by 8.5 points. So my first bet that was up on the screen was or is a teaser that has Philly and the over. So a same game teaser for Thursday night. Figure we start off the season with a bet on Thursday night. And what I did is I teased the Philly line down from 8.5 to 1.5. So a 7 point teaser is what this essentially is. And then I
Mm.
teased it, I think it was over 47.5. Now it's over 40. So, in my opinion, Philly should win this game pretty easily since Dallas doesn't have their best defensive player. He's now in Green Bay. And over 40.5 points. I mean, I think if Dallas is competitive this year, they're going to have to put up points. Like that defense didn't stop anybody since Jordan Love went into town in the playoffs 2023, I believe. And since then, I mean, Dallas has to score points to win.
Yep, that's clear as day. So that is set at -140, so 140, meaning if you bet $14, you will get $10. And that's right around our betting range. But if you're a little risque taker, that would also be $140 to win $100. Also, you said a parlay.
No, I don't think I did a parlay this week. I just did the teaser, and then I did Washington and Miami against the spread.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, I went ahead and threw those suckers together and set up a parlay for you. So with the Commanders covering at -6 and Miami covering at +1, that'll set you up for a parlay of +260. Meaning if you bet $10, you'll win $26. Is it fair to say though, those are your gimmies? You feel pretty good about those two winning their games.
I feel better about Washington if I've got to pick one. I like Washington -6 at home against the Giants. I do think the Giants will improve. Their defensive line is going to be scary this year, but ultimately, I don't think that offense is going to be very good with Russ, especially to start. And I think the Commanders they finished hot. I mean they got smoked in the NFC Championship game, but they had a great season with a rookie quarterback, and I think Jaden Daniels has looked good in the preseason, and I expect them to kind of pick up where they left off. So I like them at home. 6 point favorites. I think they'll cover that against the Giants.
Hell yeah! And
Then
your last.
yeah, for Miami, I mean the Colts are starting Daniel Jones. Let's start with that. Um, kind of
So
piggybacking
you
on
don't
I
feel
don't
good
trust the
about.
Giants. Like, yeah, I mean, I think Miami can score some points, right? Tua is going to be healthy. It's week one. And so I think they'll score some points. And ultimately, I don't trust Daniel Jones to win very many games this season. So I like the Dolphins basically in a pick on the road in Indianapolis.
Hell yeah, I like that. I like that too. And then your last one, having a little fun. What you got for us?
Yeah, little fun here, trying to pick a player prop went with, I mean, it would be easy to just take like Saquon Barkley one rushing touchdown, just a gimme type bet, but I don't want to come on here and just pick favorites and gimme bets with MVP players. So kind of went with a Cortland Sutton anytime touchdown. I think he really had a good connection with Bo Nix towards the end of the year last year, and I expect him to pick up where he left off against a Tennessee team that probably won't be too competitive this year.
Hell yeah, that is. E-Rob, before we get you out of here, what is your Super Bowl prediction for the year? Hate to just put you on the spot right there, but it is the beginning of the show, so hopefully we'll look back on this and you will be correct from your end. What are we thinking? Who's going to the Super Bowl?
Did you guys give your predictions yet, or I gotta stay tuned?
Nope, not yet. Waiting for
Not
you
yet.
guys.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I think they should have. I think they could have made it last year, beating the Chiefs. I think this is the year that they finally get over the hump. Um, and
Hump
then
is
on the
big.
NFC, what's that?
Sorry, I just said that hump is big.
It is. I mean, beating the Chiefs, especially if it's at Arrowhead, is going to be tough. But if there's one team that could do it, I think I trust Josh Allen more than anybody else. I mean, if the Bengals had anybody on defense, I might put them up there because they'll be able to score some points. But I think at the end of the day, I'll take I'll take Buffalo. And then it pains me to say I'll ride with. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll go with Green Bay on the NFC side. I mean, we traded for Parsons. Connor Myers still not over that. He's pretty upset in the comments there. Yeah, I mean, like we said, we're all in. I think what we were missing last year is a closer at the end of games, pass rusher. If you look at when we played Philly in the playoffs, our defense played phenomenal. Our offense played bad. But when Philly did score, it's because Jalen Hurts had all day to throw, which he did against everybody that they played, right? Like that offensive line
Yeah.
last year was phenomenal. But I think we hit on, signing a cornerback in free agency and then this trade for Parsons. I think we added what we needed to what was already a top 10 defense last year. And we got
Yep.
your boy
I
Golden, Renee.
Yep, I do like Golden. So hopefully that will be an improved offense over there. It all come to, in my opinion, for the Packers, it all comes down to Jordan Love. Same thing, kind of how I said about Jalen Hurts. So hopefully that works in your favor. You, Rob, I appreciate you joining the show. Hopefully we cashed in on all those bets. I will be telling you. So let's have a hell of a day, and we'll probably see you on the show tomorrow to kick off the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. So appreciate you, Earl Robinson.
Can't wait. One more
Yes.
sleep till football.
Amen,
Yep.
baby. Let's go.
Later.
JB. Oh, I just messed that up for JB. Well, what's your reaction of Earl's Super Bowl take there?
Well, of course, what is he supposed to say? Is he supposed to say somebody else? He's gonna say the Packers. Which he has the right to this year. But I like the Bills pick. I like Josh Allen. It's a big hump he's got to get over, but I mean, I can agree with that. That's a respectable Super Bowl matchup. Mine's gonna be different, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, hell yeah. And guys, don't forget the lines are open, JB. You can call us
Yeah.
at 575-808-9307. Call in, give us your takes, or ask your questions. What do you want to let off your mind? Go ahead and speak out loud and turn up with us this morning. We have our college football insider, or also known as our college football enthusiast, and Tim Foley. We'll go ahead and bring him on to the show. Tim, how's it going, brother?
I'm doing good this morning. How are you guys?
Good man.
Not too
Good
bad, bro.
morning.
Tim, well, college football already started. We missed week 1, so we're heading into week 2. But let's just kind of recap what happened this past weekend. Bill Belichick kind of got thumped on. Also, we have Archie Manning. Is he dead? Let's start with Archie Manning. Is Texas and Archie Manning, are they dead, or we still feel good about them getting into the playoffs?
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword here. If you're looking at the blogs from all the Texas fans, you would think that hell has frozen over in Austin. But I'm here to say that not much of a threat. It was a shaky first game. It was a very hard environment to go into for your first big start as a kid in Arch Manning. Matt Patricia drew up a great defense. He's used to going against the Hall of Fame Mannings, the Peytons and the Eli's, and he got their nephew this last weekend, and I think he did a great job at really switching up the game calling, the play calling. He was really switching up the defense from the pre-snap to the post-snap look, and you could see that Archie. Really struggled with that. I also think that his first pass coming out the gate kind of shook Sarkisian a little bit and kind of was a little bit timid with the play calling there. But they have a few opponents they can get right in these next few weeks. They have San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston. I think they'll be able to take those games to regroup, kind of put up a game plan to be able to take on Florida on October 4th. So my take is I think everything's fine in Austin. As long as they're in the top 10 at the end of the year, they're always going to be that national championship contender. And the way that their schedule is set up, I think they'll use these next 3 weeks to kind of get the ball going again.
All right, so Texas, also known as Cowboy fans, relax just a little bit. I know things are falling apart in Texas, but we're good. We're still gonna get into the dance. At least that's what Tim's telling us, right? Tim, our boy, Diego Pavia, local man, came from, I believe, New Mexico State, right?
Yep.
Seems like they cooked week 1. The guy's been saying that they're gonna get to a national championship this year. What are our expectations for him and Vanderbilt?
I'm a big Diego Pavia fan only because he's from New Mexico. He's a local Volcano Vista kid. National championship, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. It's almost kind of like you guys as Cowboys fans saying that this year is your year for the
Yo,
Super Bowl. But
relax. You didn't need to take that shot.
sorry, I had to let that go. I had to let it go at least once.
Let
But
it fly. Let it fly.
but they did dominate this last week. They played a weak Charleston Southern team. They beat them 45-3. Diego Pavia went lights out, man. He only threw 5 incompletions. He was 20-25, 275 yards with 3 touchdowns. Um, Going into this week with Virginia Tech, they are a 1-point underdog. I think that they are actually going to win this game. Another thing to note is as long as he's making the headlines over his brothers this week, I think everything will be all right. I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but at the game this last weekend, both of his brothers were arrested at the stadium. Allegedly, one of the brothers was throwing food at people, and the security
Oh.
guards came up to tell him to kind of tamper it down, a little bit of boot gay in them, and they did not like that, so they both got a resisting arrest too. So as long as they can go there and just watch their brother and have their brother make the headlines instead of them, I think everything will be all right.
Yeah, unfortunately, that stuff does impact the player, at least the outlook of it. So come on, boys, get it together. You can't hold your brother back. How
No,
disappointing it is to hear that. Um, what sleepers should we be looking at for this next weekend here in week 2?
I got one sleeper looking up. It's kind of hard, with only having 1 week under the belt. With a big first week. I mean, we had 3 top 10 matchups the first time ever in week 1 in college football. We had 4 top 10 teams lose because of that. So we got a lot of stuff moving around. But I believe that my sleeper for this week is going to be USF versus Florida. Florida, the Gators are 17.5-point favorites. They are I I'd pick them to do very well this year. The problem is they have one of the hardest schedules in the country. So they're playing a University of South Florida team that they can really overlook. But if you look at USF this last week, they beat a really depleted Boise State team who was in the college football playoff last year, who lost Ashton Genty to the draft. But beat him very handedly, and it was not even a close game from the jump. So I believe that they have an opportunity to overlook USF, and the reason I say that is because their schedule these following weeks, they play LSU, they play Miami, they play Texas, and then at Texas A&M. So those are all back to back to back to back. So I have a feeling that they're going to overlook this USF team. I don't think USF is going to win this football game, but I do see them covering that 17.5 point spread.
Ooh, I like that. And speaking of covering, let's go ahead and talk about your bets that you have for us this weekend. You got your parlay. Go ahead. Let's talk about that just a little bit, Tim.
Yeah, so I got my parlay going. I have UCLA covering the 2.5 points. They did not have a very good outing this last week, but a lot of people were sleeping on Utah with their quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and we are very sad to say that as he was a UNM Lobo last year. Very very hard to lose Devin Dampier, but he went into UCLA and did his thing. I expect them to cover against UNLV. And then we also have the Kansas versus Missouri. My last two picks on that parlay are going to be underdogs that are going to be covering. Kansas has a great offense. I don't think Missouri is going to beat them by 7 points. I think Kansas could win this game, if not make it close. And then Michigan is pretty heavy underdogs versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a great new quarterback. He came from Washington State last year. But I believe that Michigan is going to not only cover that 5 point spread, I think they're going to win this football game. I believe they came out a little bit vanilla because they did against UNM this last week because they didn't want to show off their hand for their big games moving forward. And I think we're going to see a pretty big explosion from them this week.
Yeah, beautiful. That sits at plus 645 for my dumb friends and myself. What that means $10 wins you $61.59. That would make $100 if you want to be risky, $649.59. So what a hell of a bet. Also there with that one, you have your gimme bets. What are the gimmies for the weekend?
Yep, I got two of them. I got two locks. I have Utah State versus Texas A&M. That's a big spread, 31.5 points. Typically, I would look at this and say that Texas A&M is gonna cover this, but they have a new football coach. Again, I'm a local kid. Shout out to UNM. He was at UNM last year. It was tough losing Bronco Mendenhall, but I believe that he's going to get this team on track, and I believe that they're going to cover against this Texas A&M team. And then my second one is Iowa State versus Iowa. Iowa State in week one, they were playing in Dublin, not the best of conditions, came out and still played a good game. I believe Iowa State's going to win this football game, but I also believe that they're going to win by more than 3 points to be able to cover that spread for everyone. So these are some free picks for you guys. When we come next week, you guys can give me about 20% of your winnings for all these.
Atta baby, I love
There
the
you go.
confidence. Let's go. With that being said, with the confidence that you have right now, Tim, let's talk about your college football power ranking.
Yep. So I have my top five, and everyone's going to look at number five, and I think I'm going to get some slack on this. The thing with my top five this week is, like I said, we're 1 week into the football season. Everyone's only played one game. Really, what matters is the top 10. But for this top five, I have Ohio State at one. That was a great football game they played at Texas. Of course, it was at the shoe, so they did have that home field advantage. But it was a phenomenal defense, and I see them doing really big things this year. I have Penn State at number two. They beat Nevada pretty handedly this last week, 46-11, and they're playing FIU this Saturday, where they're 42-point favorites. So I don't see them falling down at all. Georgia, they beat a pretty weak Marshall team, 45-7, and then they play Austin P this Saturday. So I don't think a lot of the top teams in the top five this week are not playing very hard teams this next week. So I don't see the top five switching too much. I have LSU at number four. It was a big jump, and that was because they played a great game at Clemson. Winning at Clemson 17-10 was a great defensive game. They only held Clemson at 31 rushing yards, and they're playing Louisiana Tech this Saturday, which they're going to be heavy favorites in. And I have Texas at 5. The reason I have Texas at 5 is they had probably the hardest game week 1, going into the shoe with a young quarterback, losing a lot of people to the draft. And a lot of people are overreacting with that game. I think that they have a bright future ahead of them in these next few weeks. They play San Jose State this Saturday, 36.5-point favorites. It's a big spread, but I I think that Texas is going to be in the college football playoff and run for that national championship this year.
Hell yeah, that would be JB. That would be our college football SOL power ranking. Add a baby. I appreciate you joining the show, Tim. Thank you, and let's have a hell of a weekend. Let's cash those bets. I will also be telling you, so hopefully I do have to give you 20% because we hit all those bad boys. Everybody, thank you for joining the show, Tim Foley.
See you guys next week.
Yes, yes. And Tim Foley will be joining us every Wednesday at 7 o'clock to catch us up on college football and to give us those winners. Nate, I did see your call. I just didn't want to interrupt Tim. I appreciate his time joining us. So we'll take those moments as they come. But go ahead and give us a call, 575-808-9307 to see how we feel. He was talking a little shit, said, hey, Renee's not answering the phone. Jay hit him with the, he's probably not paying attention because sometimes we get lost in the sauce. But JB. Yeah. JB, get a little off topic here, but
Yeah.
I'm a little juiced up because guess where I'm heading?
Where you headed?
I'm going to go see. Yo, I don't know your name, but excuse me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro, about to head over there. We see Chris Brown tonight. I'm pretty excited. Uh, Chris Brown Chris Brown actually the first CD that I ever got, and I was a badass kid when I was younger, and that was actually the first CD that I also ever stole. So shout out Roswell Target. I apologize. I probably owe you guys $13.99
You
or
might.
maybe $5.99 is because that's probably what CDs were back then. But yeah, I got to admit that out loud, so now I don't feel that guilt anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So who's taking the picture with Chris Brown? Did you guys sign up for the package deal? You know,
No,
is Adrian going to be
I'm
taking?
I'm trying to come back married. You feel me?
Yeah. Watch out, dude.
That conversation definitely came up.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
I look, that conversation did come up, and I did tell Adrian, if Chris Brown were to come up, I would probably grab Chris Brown's hand so I can get on stage.
That's tough, dude. He's gonna take you down. He's gonna take you
Yeah.
down.
I don't know if I'm ready for that ride, Borba. I don't think I'm
Nope.
ready for that ride, my brother.
No.
But yep, he's gonna be in Dallas, so that's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that. Damn, what a hell of a time. I haven't really drank too much outside of when we went golfing, which was also a good time. I'm still in the hundreds. But JB,
Yeah.
let me tell you this, bro. I watched a couple TikTok videos since the last time we went golfing, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about breaking 100. So they taught me this new technique where I kind of lean here, and then I fold, and then I come with the swing. I think I'm back. I think I'm on the road to be a scratch golfer. I think next time we go out there, I'll probably break 100.
All right. Hey, it's $1 a hole. Anybody want to join us? It's $1 a hole, baby.
You say, sorry, Jay, I messed you up there. When you say if you want to join us, yeah, chill because you gotta remember we shooting the hundreds. So like, we're gonna go golf with Matt Cedillo, and then Matt hits us with yeah, I've never shot 100 in my life. And my initial
Hey.
reaction is like, I have no business golfing with someone like you because they would. I don't want to make it not fun for you. You know what I mean? And a lot of the time
True.
we're kind of looking. I don't want to say we're always looking for balls, but definitely donating about two to the course, right? We just
It
kind of drop
depends
at
which
least one
it
or two.
it depends which course you're at, for sure. But for the most part, I'm keeping most balls. If there's some water, the water hazard balls, yeah, we're losing those. But other than that, man, I'm holding on to the balls, man. I'm holding them on pause, but yeah.
Yo, this man is crazy. But that is true. I appreciate Earl and Tim joining the show.
Yeah.
JB, let's talk about the Bengals here. So the Bengals finally got Trey signed. That was
Yep.
huge. They had a little bit. They kind of hit the headlines this summer with not being able to sign him or sign their rookie. It seems like they got those guys back, so the defense is dialed in. They looked rough. There was a lot of chat about how awful that defense looked in the preseason. Of course, we saw last year what they were giving up, even though Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks. Pretty terrible defense. So I get why they didn't want to pay him, but with them finally getting those signings done, uh, how do we feel about the Bengals, especially with that explosive offense? What are we feeling there?
I mean, it with the Bengals, it's pretty obvious. You got Joe Burrow. I mean, he's gonna make plays on offense. He's gonna keep you in the game. Now, what did they lose? They lost 4 games last year, I believe, scoring more than 33 points. They lost 4 of those games. So the defense obviously is the biggest issue that you see on paper. You got to play when you don't have a guy. Obviously, you have Trey Hendrickson. When you don't have a guy outside of that, that's not a household name. What it comes down to is scheme and the players buying in on defense. Uh, Kind of reminds me back in the day. You had Peyton Manning on the Colts, offensive heavy. You got the pass rushers Dwight Freeney and Rasheed Mathis, and you kind of just get the lead, fly at the quarterback. I think that's the formula that they're trying to take. But I mean, Cincinnati, man, they're just one of those organizations that are just not ran to the best of their abilities. You can call them a poverty franchise, if you will, but that's the formula that it looks like they're coming out with. And if you can get an early lead in Cincinnati and get those edges, Shamar Stewart, the rookie out of the rookie on the other side of Trey Hendrickson coming at the quarterback, I think you can cause some damage. Now, if you're behind in games or if something's not going right, then it's going to be shaky. But that team, obviously, it's led by Joe Burrow. Without Joe Burrow, we're looking at a joke of a franchise, to be honest with you. So he leads
But
that team.
you can we can say that about just about every team if you remove their quarterback. But you could definitely slide in another quarterback and still have impact there in Cincinnati. That's the type of players that they have. They got a lot of talent on that team, JB, and they're heading over to Cleveland. They're going to play an 11 o'clock game, Mountain Standard Time. Cleveland, name Joe Flacco the starter. Are we? I mean, are we? We got our boys out there, Logan Raider, the Dog Pound, some of my favorite people to have watched the game with. That community is insane. The Browns community is what I'm saying. Um, are the Browns dead this year?
You know, when it comes to the quarterback position and you got these guys, you got 4 or 5 guys trying to compete. You bring in Dylan Gabriel, you bring in Shador. Joe Flacco's a starter. I think Joe Flacco's on a short leash. Let's just say that he's on a short leash. You got a respectable defense, but you got to be able to generate some points offensively. Judkins, he's still not signed. The rookie running back. So there's some questions offensively. Obviously, I think Joe Flacco's on a very short leash. Uh, Unfortunately, like I just don't see them making the playoffs this year. I think they have to get their quarterback situation taken care of. Now we've seen clips of Deshaun Watson, um, you know, practice, make some throws, run some drills. Is Deshaun Watson going to come back and revitalize, rejuvenate his career? I mean, that's a big question mark too. So right now,
Well,
yeah,
don't hold your breath on Deshaun. Are we? I know you said that statement
he's a sleeper.
with some confidence. Like, are we confident that Deshaun Watson could come and be impactful? Because last time I saw Logan Raider said, let's get him out. Let's trade him. Give me whatever you can to get Deshaun Watson out of here.
For Deshaun Watson. This is it. This is it. He has to come back and he's got to turn this offense around. He's got to make some plays. He's got to look like that Houston Texan, Deshaun Watson, with all the upside, with all the potential. You got to see that. If you don't see that, we won't be seeing Deshaun Watson on a football field ever again. So that's the biggest question mark right now. Everybody's talking about, Dylan Gabriel, Shador, who's next in line to be at the helm. So, if we don't see Deshaun Watson fully healthy, come back and make a difference and up his play like how we saw years ago. I mean, it seems like it's so long ago. I mean, this guy's off the off the radar. So he's got one shot. He's got one
It
shot left.
has
So we'll
been.
see.
It has been years and years, and last time we saw him on a football field, or not saw him on a football field, but last time we saw him have success, they had a massive lead on the Kansas City Chiefs and somehow completely blew that lead and completely changed the trajectory of Houston and Deshaun Watson. Slightly disappointing, or very disappointing. I don't know that I agree with you there. I don't know that we see Deshaun Watson this year. It feels like they'd have to get really desperate, but maybe bring him in for a game or two just to get some good tape out there so he can become value for some trade assets. If I'm a Browns fan, I mean, really, you just want to see one of those rookies get in there and see what they got. They got Jerry Judy out there. They got a solid defense who's been top 10 the past few years, even with the lack of offense that they had. They got Kevin Stefanski, former coach of the year. So expectations for Cleveland, why not make some noise? And why not start week one against a team that typically starts slow in Cincinnati? They did play a couple starters in the preseason, so they have no excuses, blah, 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 so on and so forth. The fact is that team does start slow, and until they don't, we got to go by what they've shown us on film. And
Yeah.
with that being said, JB Micah Parsons just said, I just want to focus on ball. I'm going to take a break from everything. I'm so ready to focus on this thing, what it's all about. Here, it's all about ball. They pour everything into this. This is probably what I needed in my life. That means to me, what I just heard is that he's at, or it sounds like we're at battle with Jerry Jones if you're Micah Parsons' team. David Mulugeta made his rounds on the shows yesterday talking about the trade. Micah really wanted to be a Cowboy, blah, blah, blah. What this tweet just told me is Micah's throwing a little bit of shade towards Dallas, a little bit salty, but he needs to be slightly grateful because you were sent to a Super Bowl contending team, so you're welcome. You're welcome there first. And then secondly, it sounds like the podcast and stuff is out of the works and he's going to completely focus on football. Maybe that will change who he will be as a player this year, but what's your take just hearing that?
Well, I think obviously the big thing is Micah's got paid. Micah got paid. I mean, it's honestly that simple. He's gonna put his foot down. Hey, let's ball out. We just got the bag. We got to put it on the field now. Kind of stop talking about it. Stop talking about this contract thing for the last 6-7 months. Stop talking about Jerry Jones. Like it's old news. It's like, we've moved on. Okay, let's just say that we've moved on. We got a new beginning, fresh in Green Bay. I'm on a good team. That's what Mike's thinking. Let's go out. Let's go out and see what we can do. See what damage we can cause. So get all that drama, get everything else behind him. Time to put it out on the field at the end of the day. Let's quit the talking. It's week one. Let's put our cleats on and tighten up the pads, put the helmet on.
Let's go,
We're going
baby.
out, baby.
Let's
We're
go.
going out. So I
Let's
think he's done. We're done with the contract negotiations. We're done with the speculations. We're done with, oh, it's Jerry and Micah. What does the agent got to do with this thing? Like, let's just play football now. That's what it is. That's what he's wanting to say. Quit the drama. Let's lace him up.
So lock in
Yeah, it's time to lock
Micah
in.
And, and let's see what we got. And speaking of drama, JB, there's been some drama out there in Miami in that beautiful weather. Uh, Tyreek Hill, listen to this real quick.
Yep.
You've been a captain here. Do you want to be a captain in 2025? Do you think you deserve to be a captain again?
I gotta prove myself. This OTAs training camp, I gotta prove myself. I gotta show up different. The mindset gotta be different. So I don't feel like I deserve it. And if I didn't get it, I wouldn't dwell on it. I wouldn't sweat it. You know what I'm saying? Because I put myself in that position. You know what I'm saying? So
You've been a captain here. Do you want?
Oh, sorry, Jay. Sorry. JB, so recently the captains were named for the Miami Dolphins, and Tyreek was not one of those. He had a lot of off-season issues
Yeah.
this past summer. Bro has hella kids, hella baby mamas, which is crazy. It's
Man.
non-football, so we won't go there. But yeah, what do you think about the way he's handling that whole situation right now? Sounded pretty positive from my end.
Honestly, that's the best way to handle it. He's saying he's got to change some things. He's got to be different. Sometimes you got to bring a different mindset to everything. I mean, I think that happens in all of our lives. I think we're old enough now where things happen in life. Okay, we got to get back on track with life. So I don't know what exactly is going on personally. Obviously, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in his personal life. One of Tyreek Hill's, a baby making machine. He's got a lot of priorities. Let's just say that. So it all starts with your mindset on the field too. I mean, he's been hurt a little bit. Maybe the team is taking a little bit of another direction. And what you could also say too is Tyreek, is he a trade? Is he going to be an asset for a trade later on in this season if things aren't working out in Miami? The offense is not looking good. Tua gets hurt again. Like, there's a lot of question marks where you know Tyreek might be on the block. Tyreek might be on the block if we don't see those numbers kind of go back to what they did in 2023, 2022. Then he might be on the block.
Yo, Tyreek Hill was not on my bingo card for being traded this year, but that's a good point. If they
Yep.
do start off slow, at what point do we start looking to start trading some players?
It's
Are the
not
Dolphins still sold on Tua, or is Tua possibly also a part of that
some
trade package?
question marks.
Yeah, that is legit. I do think, like you said, that was a perfect way to respond. You do have to prove yourself
Yeah.
and earn the respect of your
It's
players
a
back. I don't
professional
think
way
that
to
would be hard.
respond, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I loved it. Winning cures everything, and I think that's a little bit of what we're gonna see from that team. Um, JB, so tomorrow's show, let's talk about tomorrow's show a little bit. We're gonna talk we
Yeah.
got a little segment called Talk Me Into It where JB is going to talk us into why we should pick Philly to win that game. Some of you guys might be thinking, "Oh, that's not going to be hard. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys." But I got something different for you cuz I'm on the other side of that. And I will also be arguing on why the Cowboys will win that. So that'll be good. Earl will probably join the show to give us a couple of his takes on that game as well. And JB, I'll be live from Dallas, so that'll be fun. They're
Yeah.
having a watch party that I will not be attending, but that it would have been cool. It was a nice thought. But I'll be able to enjoy the game from my home, my TV, my living room, and probably catch a what is that thing that Jameis Winston does?
Yeah. You ain't catching
Boom.
that.
We'll probably catch some doves, but don't forget, guys. Nate, I will answer your phone tomorrow or now if you want to call in. We got 575-808-9307. And JB, we're coming into a close on the show, and there's no better way to start a show with giving out or ending the show by giving out our Super Bowl predictions. So I'll allow you to tell us who your Super Bowl winner will be.
So, my prediction, I'm not giving you a winner. I'm going to say who's going to go. But in the AFC, I got the Baltimore Ravens. I think, same boat as Josh Allen. I don't think you could go wrong with um, what was said earlier about Josh Allen getting over the hump. The same thing with Lamar. I mean, we're talking about a team that was essentially one drop away from advancing, or extending that game at least. I just saw Cheech's comment. I was on it. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, I think Lamar and that team is ready to make the next step. I think they got the pieces in place. Derrick Henry, I don't think he regresses. I think you still keep that same offensive mentality, that same game plan. Um, keep working it on defense. I mean, they're loaded on defense now. You get Jair Alexander. There's a lot of things going on for you right now that's going to help you get over the hump. You just need to execute. You need to finish plays. You need to finish the game. That's the biggest thing. So yeah, I got Baltimore Ravens in the AFC. The AFC, I want to say the Vikings. I want to say the Vikings, but there's some question marks. Got a tough division. Obviously, we got JJ McCarthy, first year at the helm, fully healthy. A lot of upside. I mean, a lot of people are doubting it. A lot of people aren't doubting it. He's got the most weapons that you could possibly get for a quarterback taking over the position. I mean, we saw that with Sam Darnold last year. The easy thing for me to say is the Vikings, and I really want to stick to it just because I'm a homer right now, and I don't want to say anybody else. As much as I despise the Packers, I don't think they're going. I don't think I don't think the Packers are making it. I don't think the Lions are going this year. I like the Commanders. I don't think they're equipped to beat Philly handedly, like in the playoffs, like how we saw last year. Uh, Philly is obviously the favorite. I think Philly in the NFC is still the favorite. Got most of their pieces. They're younger now at corner. You get rid of Darius Slay and a couple of those guys, and you're betting on Kenyon Mitchell and Dejan Cooper DeJean. So I think Philly's the favorite, and I would say Philly, but as a homer, I'm going Vikings. Vikings are a top four NFC team. I think McCarthy surprises a lot of people. That defense is going to get after the quarterback. That Brian Flores scheme is still going to cause problems for guys like Jordan Love. Guys like Brock Purdy. The 49ers are obviously they're going to be healthy this year. They're still got a couple issues offensively, but they're a good favorite. But I'm going with the Vikings. Got to go with the Vikings. I don't care. Kick me off the show. I need to see my
Already,
team.
we just started.
I need to see my team make an NFC title game. I need to see it. I need to see them go to the Super Bowl. I don't care. JJ, give me something, man. Give me something this
So
year.
predictions is Ravens versus Vikings.
Let's do it.
Oh, ouch. Cheech is calling. Cheech is going to start getting people to sign the petition. We just started the show. I need you. But that was a hell of a take, JB. I like the
Hey,
Vikings
man.
to get a battle down in the NFC. But the NFC is so up in the air. That's what makes the NFC so beautiful. And that's
Yeah.
why the NFC gives me a little bit of hope that the Cowboys can make a run into the playoffs. For me, JB, I'm torn between the Bills and the Ravens because of the additions that the Ravens had. I like what they brought in with Yair. Hopefully he can stay healthy at cornerback there. That was his biggest struggle. The guy's an all pro when he is healthy. The problem is him playing. He already had a little tweak this offseason. Seems to not be a big issue. Lamar kind of had a little tweak coming into the season as well. So hopefully, I think that team is all going to come down to can they stay healthy? Can Derrick Henry duplicate what he did last year? I think that's a far stretch, especially at the running back position. That's my question mark with the Eagles too. So I think I like E Rob said earlier. I trust Josh Allen to be able to get over that hump. That is Patrick Mahomes for all those guys in the AFC. Um, I'm a little torn also with the Bengals because I know what we saw from that defense looking so bad, but now they got their players signed. It seems like that locker room has a good camaraderie. But I'm going to stick with the Bills. I've said the Bills the last 3 years. I don't know if that's because I hold a little bit of love for them because I've been following them since the Tyrod Taylor days. Um, but give me the Bills, and then on the NFC, I am going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like you have to. No, I'm just kidding. This is probably the one year where I will definitely not say the Dallas Cowboys will get to the Super Bowl. I definitely think we get into the playoffs, but I just feel like right now we have no good arguments to pull Philly from from their pedestal. They still have Saquon Barkley. He looks healthy as ever. He seems to be locked in. All of it falls on Saquon Barkley. If Saquon can stay healthy, then Philly just seems to be like they're still that team. They haven't gotten worse. They still pretty much kept the same roster. They got rid of Kellen Moore, who's now the head coach in New Orleans. But they should be able just to move smoothly. So I'm gonna go with Bills and Eagles, which is subject to change. And I hate to say Philly, bro, but I think that's it. I also my sleeper team though, JB. I do like the Rams. I think the
Yeah.
Rams are legitimately only being stopped by injuries. They probably beat the Eagles last year if it wasn't for that snow. Um, but that's the whole point of having home field advantage. But JB, we're coming to a close here. I appreciate you guys joining Speaking Out Loud. Thank you, Earl, for coming on. Thank you, Tim, for coming on. Tomorrow, guys, we'll be back live at 6:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Don't forget to call us in at 575-808-9307 to kick off the Dallas Cowboys Philadelphia Eagles game. I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day, and let's have one.